Have you ever seen a port that is completely automated? Instead, you should investigate the Chinese port. It calls the West's technical progress into question. Although China's adversaries may brag about transforming into a futuristic country, China has shown this through deeds rather than words. China's Tianjin Port is a practical example of the country's incredible technology, and we'll now compare this completely autonomous 5G port to us ports. In this video, we'll examine how this 5 port has reduced expenses and labor. We'll also find out why this 5-day port will improve trade with China. Every year, China becomes a big commercial country. It imports exports. The bulk of the business is handled by items worth billions of dollars in ports. With their very high trade rates, the ports are vital to China's economy. China has long been famous for establishing commercial ports in neighboring countries. Without ports, the port must work reliably. It is almost impossible to transfer reliable persons and equipment. As a consequence, China has established various ports, producing countless employment both within and outside the nation. The position was favorable before to the outbreak, but the virus decreased commerce. The economy was severely hit. Unfortunately, it did not completely. The major issue was health dangers. Although other variables had a part, restricting trade was one that led to the downfall of China's commerce and economy. Everyone were resting at home, and no workers were completing their tasks at the ports. Not all of the staff vanished, but there were clearly fewer of them. If these employees had been able to get there unhurt, China's economy would not have suffered as much. Yet now that China has reopened and people have started to forget the game, health remains the first priority. China is still considering the sad situation, and I'm sure you're reading this, and I'm sure you're here because you're here. This prognosis is also quite accurate. As a result, China must devise a plan to maintain a stable workforce. What options are there? How do these workers manage to work under such difficult conditions? What if the workers didn't have to work? China decided to replace the workers with better ones. Do you have an idea? Every day, China took the choice to employ agriculture to replace labor. As technology progresses, we become closer to artificial intelligence. The forecast that there will be more machines than humans in the future, working is not a game of hyperbole. Humans may potentially be engaged in the development of these machines. China has taken this endeavor seriously, learning from the pandemic to replace vital sectors with more reliable ones. China took the decision to allow for the use of AI and robots at ports. This idea will not only benefit China, but it will also serve as a model for the rest of the world. Robots can work in any setting, and individuals may control them while sitting in their homes. Additionally, even if an accident happens and the robots are destroyed, it will still be considered a success, since it saved the life of a worker. The concern is how AI and 5G will manage the whole port. Is it just a concept, or has China taken the measures required to make it a reality? In this video, we will react to all of your questions and concerns. Ho is largely recognized as one of the most prosperous technological firms in the world. It is once again acting as the driving factor this time around. Huey picked Xin as the site for the 5-day port he built. There are no people in China's second biggest city since everything is handled by robots at the port. There are already 76 totally autonomous cars on the road with no human drivers. Unlike the majority of other ports, this one can operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For a full day of operation with the help of these vehicles, each vehicle needs 3 drivers, for a total of 228 drivers for the 76 vehicles. However, autonomous cars have addressed the problem. Millions of dollars have been saved as a result of this one measure, and trade earnings have increased dramatically. Another important cause of stress for the workers was the planning of the port schedule. The timetable is generated manually in the majority of ports. Every day, a group of people creates the schedule, which you can understand is taxing. Still, computers are utilized in the Chan to arrange activities. Planning the route for a single truck by hand may take up to 12 hours, while a computer can do it in 10 minutes. Scheduling, which was previously time-consuming and complex, now takes just a few seconds. Moreover, computers do not make errors, although human brains do all the time. So the deployment of 5D technology at ports not only saves time and labor, but also minimizes the danger of mistakes. The port of Tianjin can handle 21 million tons of cargo per year, making it one of the top 10 busiest ports in the world. Based on this figure, you should be able to calculate how much work the 5 saves. Loading and unloading goods from shipping containers normally necessitates the employment of over 800 people at a typical port. Despite this, the port of Tianjin does not have a single human detention facility. Computers are used to undertake the hard work while transporting the container from one location to another. When done by people, there was a very good chance that it would be accepted. Accidents were also a regular result, but they are no longer a problem. Tianjin's port is currently the safest in the world thanks to the adoption of 5G. This port needs around 25 more personnel than the normal port. The good news is that these 25 of employees will not be in charge of bringing goods into a regular port. Rather, they will be undertaking simple tasks such as computer operation. Whereas loading and unloading 28 cargo may take an hour, the port of Tianjin can now handle 36 containers per hour. This figure illustrates a significant rise in annual port capacity. The rest of the world is looking to this article as a model right now. 5N artificial intelligence has never been coupled in such a way before. It intends to make advantage of contemporary technological advances as well as more advanced technologies. The goal of China's ongoing development on 5/8 ports is to guarantee that they improve with each succeeding project. If China is recognized as a country capable of producing the greatest ports in the world, it will begin constructing 5G ports in regions other than its own. This will be advantageous to the BRI project. In the long term, China's ambitions for progressive economic growth are becoming closer to reality by the day. Nobody expected the epidemic that has reduced China's exports to encourage the country to expand this port and enhance its economy. These are also results that no one predicted. We believe that China will open a large number of new 5G ports in the near future. Do you believe other nations will follow China's example and build their own 5 ports? That would imply that Westerners feel they reside in the most technologically advanced area. If this is the case, why hasn't the West created completely automated 5G ports? Please leave your ideas and opinions. Click on the following videos to see more frightening projects.